Hi friends, my name is Amita and in this video I am going to discuss about a very important topic of in power electronics, that is a single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier. My dear friends, I know that you are aware about the rectifier as it is a kind of power electronics converter which is used to convert a AC supply into a DC supply. As we know that the AC supply is available in two forms, so it can be a single phase rectifier or it can be a three phase rectifier. When a rectifier converts a single phase AC power into a DC power will be called as a single phase rectifier, whereas when it converts a three phase AC supply into a DC supply, then it will be called as a three phase rectifier. When we say it is a half wave fully controlled rectifier, means it is only able to convert a half of a AC cycle into a DC cycle. That's why it is called as a half wave rectifier. When we call rectifier as a fully controlled rectifier, means that kind of rectifier is consists of the fully controllable device. It may be a silicon controlled rectifier device. In this video, we are going to study in detail about a single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier. Here I want to clear one more thing, that the output of a rectifier can vary as per the type of load. The load can be in resistive, the load can be in resistive inductive, and it can be an RLE load. The very good example of an RLE load can be an DC motor. Why the output of a rectifier varies as per the type of load? The simple reason behind it, that in the basics of electrical engineering, we have studied that in case of resistance, always the voltage and current will be in same phase. Whereas when I talk about in resistive inductive load, due to the inductance, the current lags from the voltage. And if I talk about an RLE load, the type of output from the rectifier will also differ. Here in this video, I will be mainly focusing on the power circuit diagram of a single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier, followed by its operation for a resistive load and the appropriate waveforms. So now without wasting time, I am sharing my screen where I will discuss in detail about the single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier. So let us discuss about single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier. The very important point about this is it is used to convert the single phase AC supply into DC supply. Okay. Now let us talk about its power circuit diagram. So power circuit diagram of a single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier. So this is the SCR or thyristor. This is the AC input Vs, Vn sin omega t, and here it is a load. Okay, and this load can be a resistive load. This load can be a resistive inductive load, and this load, in short I can say R, in short I can say RL, and this load can be an resistive, inductive and E load, which in short we will say it is a RLE load. Okay, so this is the power circuit diagram. Now let us try to understand its operation. So when I talk about its operation, we are mainly going to focus its operation for resistive load. Okay. Now, once again I am making the power circuit diagram. this is Vs Vm sine omega t, this is SCR, and the resistive load I'm connecting here, which is represented by RL, and this is T1, where T1 is nothing but silicon controlled rectifier, which is a controllable device rectifier, that is also called as an thyristor. Okay, RL is the load resistance across which we are going to see the output voltage, and Vs is the input AC supply. Okay, now let us focus on operation. As you can see with this power circuit diagram, the type of input which we have connected to the circuit, that is AC. So what kind of AC supply is there? AC is always like this kind of sinusoidal waveform. This is omega t, and this is supply voltage, and the peak value is Vm. That kind of input AC supply we have connected to the circuit, where this is 0, this is pi, this is 2 pi, this is 3 pi. That means we have connected the alternating source to the circuit, which is alternating its cycle after 1/2 cycle. Means 0 to pi, this is having the positive cycle, and pi to 2 pi, it is having negative cycle. So that means when the positive cycle is connected to the SCR, it will be forward bias. That means 0 to pi, the SCR will be forward bias, and when the negative cycle of a AC input will be there, the SCR will be reverse bias. So that means to understand the complete operation of this circuit, we have to split the operation for two half cycles of a AC input. One is during positive half cycle of AC input, and which exists between 0 to pi. Now, as all of you are aware with the basic operation of an SCR, that only making the SCR forward bias is not having the guarantee that it will be conducting, because of when it is the forward bias, its middle junction is reverse bias. That's why it is not conducting. So that means to make the already forward bias SCR conducting, we have to give the gate supply, and the instant at which the gate supply is connected to the instant at which it is forward bias, that is called as an firing angle. So that means we have to divide, we need to understand the operation of a single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier during positive half cycle in two parts. One is duration 0 to alpha, that is before firing pulse, before firing, and another is duration between alpha to pi. So as you know that the gate pulse is given at alpha. Okay, so that means between 0 to alpha, as I am talking about positive cycle, means the upper terminal of a supply is positive. So this is the kind of positive half cycle of a input. The SCR, although it is forward bias, but it will be conducting as an open circuit because the gate pulse is not given to it. So load resistance, what will be the load voltage across the load resistance? As the supply is fully disconnected from the load, so the output voltage will be 0. And what will be the output current? Since the circuit is open, so in this case V0 is 0 and the load current will be 0, and as it is a simple series circuit, so load current will also be equal to the supply current, and the current which is flowing through the SCR 1 will also be same, and all these three currents will be 0. Now when I talk about alpha to pi, as the gate pulse is given at alpha, so that means supply voltage Vs Vm sin omega t with upper terminal positive. Now the SCR will be acting as a short circuit because the gate pulse is given at alpha, and this is the load resistance. Now under the circumstances, the load will be equal to, load voltage will be equal to the supply voltage, as through this short circuit the supply voltage is now fully connected to the load. So whatever the instantaneous value of a supply voltage will be there, that will be equal to the load voltage. So in this case, V0 will be equal to Vs and I0 will be equal to Vs by RL, and I0 will be equal to Is will be equal to IT1. What is IT1? IT1 is the current through SCR1. What is Is? That is the supply current. And what is I0? That is the load current. So this we have seen the operation of this rectifier for a positive half cycle. The positive half cycle we have split into two parts. One is between 0 to alpha, and another we have split it into alpha to pi. Now let us talk about its operation during negative cycle. So during negative half cycle of AC input, okay, which exists from pi to 2 pi. Now, as you know that to make the SCR on, only the forward biasing of a SCR is not sufficient. To make the SCR on, the gate pulses also need to be given. Okay? Similarly, to make the SCR off, the only conditions to make the SCR reverse bias is not sufficient. At the same time, the current flowing through the SCR at that time should be holding current, and for all theoretical purpose, the holding current we assume 0. So that means at pi, as the input voltage is 0, that means for the resistive load at pi, the current will also be 0. That means the both conditions of making SCR off will be fulfilled at pi. It means the SCR will be off at pi. So that means under the condition, the SCR will be off at pi. That means at T1 will be off at pi, and now the lower plate will be positive as I am talking about the negative cycle. So Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t, and here I am having the load resistance. Now you can see the load voltage will be again 0 as the supply voltage is disconnected from the load. So in this case, V0 will be 0, I0 will be 0, and I0 will be equal to Is will be equal to IT1, and that is also equal to 0. So that means only between alpha to pi the SCR is conducting, and 0 to alpha and pi to 2 pi the SCR is not conducting. So that's the complete operation of an SCR, of a single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier. Now let us discuss about its waveforms. So we are going to plot the supply voltage waveform. We are going to plot VG, that is the gate voltage waveform. We are going to plot V0. We are going to plot I0, and we are going to plot voltage across SCR1. Now, what is the AC input voltage? AC input voltage, let me use the different color, yellow. So AC input voltage will be like this. Okay, this is omega t, this axis is omega t, this axis is omega t, this axis is omega t, and this is omega t. What is this? This is 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and so on. Okay. Now extend these instants. So like this. Now suppose at alpha I have given the gate pulse. So what is this angle? Alpha. And here also we will give the gate pulse at 2 pi plus alpha also. Okay. So what is this angle? This will be 2 pi plus alpha. Now extend these alpha point also, because the CR will be on at alpha only. Although it will be forward bias at 0, but it will be on at alpha. So you know at alpha as the SCR is on, so we are going to get whatever the instantaneous value of our input voltage, that we are going to get as a output voltage. Okay, so this will be the output voltage. So alpha to pi I will get the output voltage, pi to 2 pi we will get 0 voltage. Now, as we know that for a resistive load, the voltage and current will be in same phase, only the load current will be V naught by R. So, whatever the instantaneous value of a V naught will be there, divided by the R will be the load current. So, that means we will get the exactly similar wave shape, only divide by magnitude R. So, load current also I am going to get alpha to pi. So लोड करंट जो वेवफॉर्म लोड करंट की है, the similar waveform will be for IS also. This is IS also, and this is IT1 also. The same waveforms will be for load current, supply current, or a current through SCR1. Now, when I plot the VT1 means the voltage across SCR1. You see, when the SCR is conducting, the voltage across SCR will be 0, and for rest of the duration, whatever the supply voltage will be there, the voltage across SCR will be the same. So that means, except the conducting duration of SCR. What is the conducting duration of SCR? That is this, between 0 to pi. Whatever the input cycle remains left, that means like this and like this. So this will be the voltage across SCR1. Means उस duration को छोड़ के, alpha to pi duration को छोड़ के, जब तक SCR conduct कर रहा है, rest of the duration में supply voltage का जो waveform बचा रह गया, that will be the voltage across the SCR, that will be the voltage across the SCR. Okay. Now let us talk about its analysis part. Let me talk about its analysis. So at last I am going to discuss about its analysis. Analysis में we are going to calculate the VDC, that is the average DC output voltage. This I am going to calculate. The second thing I am going to calculate VRMS, RMS value of output voltage. Why we are calculating the RMS value of output voltage? Because the kind of output which I am getting, that is not a pure DC, that is a pulsating DC. I am also going to calculate the IDC. VDC को हम V naught भी बोलते हैं, IDC को हम I naught भी बोलते हैं. That is average value, average DC output current. Okay, and IRMS is nothing but RMS value of output current. Okay, so these four parameters I am going to calculate in the analysis part. So let us talk about first parameter, that is average value of DC output voltage, that is VDC, and it is also called V0. As you know, to calculate the average value of output voltage, what we need to do, the average value of output voltage means we have to integrate the voltage waveform between alpha to pi. Basically, to calculate the average value, we have to integrate the function for a one complete cycle. Okay, so you can see the output voltage waveform is like this. So 0 to 2 pi is the complete cycle, and out of that 2 pi complete cycle, alpha to pi I am getting the function. 0 to alpha it is 0 and pi to 2 pi it is 0. So how we are going to calculate the average value of output voltage? The general formula is 1 upon t time period 0 to t f of t dt. This is how we calculate the average value for a unsymmetrical function. Unsymmetrical function का मतलब है, unsymmetrical function means it is the function which is having unsymmetrical. Unsymmetrical function means which is not symmetrical to x-axis. Okay, like sinusoidal function is a symmetrical function, whereas you can see that this is a symmetrical function because whatever the positive cycle is there, similar negative cycle is there. Whereas this is not a output voltage is not a symmetrical function because we are having positive cycle, but the same function we don't have in negative cycle. So that means the symmetrical function is a function which is symmetrical to an x-axis as well as y-axis, whereas an unsymmetrical function is a function which is not symmetrical to a x-axis. So average output voltage के लिए जो हमारा load voltage आया है, that is not a symmetrical function, it is a unsymmetrical function. So we are going to calculate the average output voltage for a complete cycle. Now you know, for a complete cycle मतलब it is the complete cycle means after which the cycle will repeat its value. Now what is the time period? Time period means it is the time after which the function repeats its value. So what is the time period here? 2 pi. So the t is equal to, in this case, t is equal to 2 pi. And for a complete time period, the value of a function is not same. So V0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi, and we have to break the integration limit 0 to alpha. Function की value क्या है? 0. Alpha to pi, function की value क्या है? Vm sin omega t d omega t, रेस्पेक्ट में d omega t, क्योंकि फंक्शन d omega t के रेस्पेक्ट में, so d omega t, and then pi to 2 pi, the function value is 0, d omega t. So we have broken the integration limits as the value of function is not constant throughout the time. So when we integrate it, this whole term will be 0, this whole term will be 0. So 1 upon 2 pi, Vm I have taken before the integration. Sin omega t का integration is minus cos omega t, and limits are from alpha to pi. So when I put the integration limit, Vm upon 2 pi minus of cos pi, and 1 minus sign is this, and 1 minus sign is of lower limit, so it will be plus of cos alpha. So when I solve it, finally I am going to get V0 is equal to Vm upon 2 pi. I got minus cos of pi plus cos of alpha. Now cos pi is minus 1 and 1 minus is already there. So I am going to get Vm upon 2 pi 1 plus cos of alpha. So this is the value of average output voltage VDC or V0. So this I am going to get as a output voltage. Average value of output voltage. Now similarly, if I want to calculate IDC, average value of DC output current. Output current. So how I can calculate IDC, that is equal to I0. This will be V naught by R. That means I can write Vm upon 2 pi R 1 plus cos of alpha. So this is the average value of an DC output current. Okay. Now at last I am going to tell you how to calculate the RMS value of DC output voltage. So we know Vrms is equal to 1 upon T integration 0 to T f of T dt, f square T dt, and the under root. What is the meaning of RMS? Root mean square value. So we have to do the under root. We have to integration matlab mean, and square root mean square value. We know that T is equal to 2 pi. So let us put the value. So 1 upon 2 pi integration 0 to 2 pi f square T d omega T. Now put the value. What I am going to get? Function is not constant throughout the time. So what I will do? Under root 1 upon 2 pi. Now break the integration limit. 0 to alpha 0 square d omega t. Alpha to pi Vm square sin square omega t d omega t, and plus pi to 2 pi function की value again 0 d omega t, and the under root of this 4. So what I am going to get? Under root 1 upon 2 pi. Now Vm square I can take out. Sin square omega t को I can write 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2, and do the integration between alpha to pi d omega t. So when I take this before under root, it will be Vm upon root of 2 pi. Now 1 by 2 ka integration. What will be the integration of 1 by 2 omega t? Okay. And what is the integration of cos 2 omega t? So that is sin 2 omega t by 4. And limits are from alpha to pi. So when I put the limits, Vm upon root 2 pi. Okay. So under root. If I put the limit 1 upon 2, upper limit minus lower limit. So 1 upon 2 into pi minus 1 upon 2 into alpha. This is the upper limit. And what is the lower limit? Minus sine 2 pi upon 4. And 1 minus is this, 1 minus of lower limit. So plus sine 2 alpha by 4. Okay. So when I solve it, what I am going to get? What I am going to get? V RMS is equal to Vm upon root 2 pi under root 1 upon 2 pi minus 1 upon 2 alpha. Now what is sine 2 pi? 0. So this whole term will be 0. So plus sine 2 alpha by 4. Okay. So this I further solve it. Root 2 pi under root 2 I can take outside. Then pi minus alpha plus sine 2 alpha by 2. So Vm by 2 under root pi. Root 2 is 2. Under root pi minus alpha plus sine 2 alpha by 2. So this is your Vrms. See? So this is the value of Vrms. Now if I want to calculate IRMS, root mean square value, RMS value of DC output current, that is IRMS, that is equal to VRMS by RL. So I can write Vm upon 2 root pi into RL and under root pi minus alpha plus sine 2 alpha by 2. That is the IRMS value. So that's it. I hope whatever information I have shared in this video related to an operation of a single phase half wave fully controlled rectifier for a resistive load will be now clear to you. If you are also interested to learn the operation for a resistive inductive load and for a RLE load, then keep watching my video. Thank you. Goodbye.